At Sony's State of Play, Marvel has just revealed a new partnership with famed fighting game developer Arc System Works over a new game called Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, the first Marvel fighting game in some time. Coming out of nowhere and with a new developer, Tokon Souls looks to be the latest chapter in Marvel's legacy of fighting games. And in this video, we will go over everything we know so far from the characters, mechanics, development, and the future for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Before we start off with the characters, we have to answer the question, what is Tokon Fighting Souls? This is the latest fighting game in Arc System Works library, which has been in development for some time and finally has been revealed to be a collaboration with Marvel Studios. ArcSys has had plenty of success in the fighting game genre in the past couple years, and this is the culmination of ArcSys putting in the work, giving us banger after banger from Dragon Ball FighterZ, Guilty Gear Strive, Granblue, and a bunch of other published games that have just added to the reputation of a once small developer in the fighting game sphere. Up first is the characters. The trailer starts us off showcasing a total of 8 characters, starting off with the first Avenger, Captain America. Cap looks to be a brawler powerhouse, using his shield to increase his range against his opponents, heavy hits, and overall very simple yet straightforward game plan. He has an assist where he does throw his shield and stays in place momentarily, which is similar to his gameplay from Marvel vs. Capcom in the past. He has another assist that looks like a lunging tackle, which will probably act similar to his charging star move from the past as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Cap ends up becoming the easiest character to use once we get to play the game later on. Next up, we have Iron Man. Now, Iron Man has a brand new Kamen Rider Power Ranger look that we have never seen before, which gives him the coolest looking character award for the time being. He utilizes beams similar to past versions as an assist, as well as his own lunging tackle similar to Captain America. There's also a moment where he does an air dash that looks like a flight mode, but this could just be an aesthetic choice for the character. But given that he is a fly-based character, there is a chance he could have better aerial movement compared to others, or a full-blown flight mode. His super at the end has him summoning a Hulkbuster, which is most likely only going to be used in a cinematic, but would be cool if it's an actual tool in his kit. Next is Spider-Man, and we see everything that makes him one of the GOATs as always. Very fast, very agile. He has some web shots, but we don't know how they work, if it's a simple projectile or if it has any sort of pull or slow properties. He also showcases a couple of mechanics that are most likely universal, such as his active tag and a potential wall break. He might have a very strong parry stance, using his spider sense to avoid both projectiles, delivering a counter hit from both close and medium range. The next character is Ghost Rider, and possibly might be the most similar to his Marvel vs. Capcom counterpart, as both use their chains for long range attacks and a tornado move in the air to continue his combo. He also sets up some fire on the ground as a projectile, as well as an anti-air for incoming jump-ins. He also appears to run you over in his level 3 with a car, very surprising for me personally, and he also showcases a wall splat very high in the air, albeit we never see an actual break as he falls to the ground afterwards. Our next character is none other than the Queen herself, Storm. Very little needs to be said on how influential she has been in the MVC universe, and judging from her gameplay, history might repeat itself. She uses what looks to be a level 1 super after coming in from a DP assist. She then shows off a very lengthy air combo that goes into this wind gravity move that lets her keep the combo going. She then throws out another assist that uses an ice ball that detonates and stays in place for a short while. And of course, we see a glimpse of her level 3 at the end, showing a bunch of weather effects as well as lightning. I'd also like to point out that this keeps up the long-standing tradition of Storm not having a single bad design, because look at her, oh my goodness. The next character, a personal favorite of mine, I was losing it, Dr. Doom. is in the base roster of this game. We do see a bit of his movement, and he looks to have a pretty slow walk speed, but then does a teleport that puts him behind the opponent from a good distance. This is a far cry from his MVC3 counterpart, where he was one of the staples in everyone's team. He also does a level 1 shooting a big blast from a Mauser gun, which causes a big explosion. He also sets up an orbital blast that detonates after some time, similar to his hidden missile assist from the past. It also looks like he has a command grab that slashes the opponent at the end and does an air throw, hinting that we might see those as a universal mechanic. He also does what I believe is Arx's answer to his iconic foot dive from this crazy multi-man attack that we'll go over shortly. And I'm just gonna go ahead and call it, but he might just have one of the best supers in the game so far from just this clip alone. Holy! Now these next two characters I saved for last, as this is the first time both fighters have been represented in a fighting game period, and that's Star-Lord and Miss Marvel. Starting off with Peter Quill himself, he has some fast looking buttons and a hover boost that allows him to fly for a moment after a jump. We also see his level 1 where he blasts some beams from almost full screen, ending with a gigantic fireball at the end. He also does a freeze blast that stops Spider-Man for a while, continuing the combo, which may lead to some reset opportunities or combo continuation. And both times we see his assist, it's him shooting a huge full screen beam, which can definitely set up some space control in a heated zoning fight. And the last character, Miss Marvel, shows that she has some big buttons as she stretches her limbs to increase her range. Definitely looks to be a pure melee character with no other gimmicks. She does a very funny looking lariat tornado, and both times we see her assist, it's either a big punch or kick into an active tag. It also looks like she has both a regular and a super command grab, where you see both of her hands turn really huge. Definitely the most simple looking character from the trailer, just like Captain America, but usually these end up being the most popular picks for players to use, especially in the beginning of the game's life cycle. Both her and Star-Lord are making their fighting game debuts, as they have never been in any Marvel vs. Capcom, the only Guardians member being Rocket Raccoon in MVC3. So it's very exciting we get to see our favorite characters in a new twist and brand new faces to the genre. Now, as far as characters we might see in the future, one of the first characters being teased is Daredevil, as we see his gym and office in the background of the stage and see a glimpse of his 9to5 personality, Matt Murdock. Wouldn't be surprised if he is the next character showcased in a future trailer, as they have said they are going to start ramping up those trailers sometime soon. Now on to mechanics. As far as they go, we don't have much information outside of visuals from the trailer and the dev talk. From their blog post, Tokon Fighting Souls is a 4v4 tag fighter where you control one character, have 3 assists, changing the lead character at any time during a match. It's hinted from this part in there behind the scenes, it will be a shared life bar for all characters, making it so you will have access to your assist at all times, and making it so you don't need to learn multiple characters to play the game. There are also both simple and traditional inputs for this game to the delight of everyone, and though we might not know how many buttons are required for this game, it does look like for its normals alone, it's following the Arxis standard formula of a light, medium, and heavy, judging from this combo sequence Doom does here. Chances are there will be 3 buttons for your assist and a direction to change which assist comes out. There has already been a debate in the FGC of simple mechanics adding more issues than streamlining as intended from games like 2XKO and then Impact. So hopefully the inclusion of traditional inputs means we don't need more than 6 buttons, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, as far as mechanics in the tag system, we see the use of active tag, which might be a mixed bag depending on who you are. It seems you can active tag from calling a raw assist or in a block string. There's also this big team up attack that has all 4 characters attacking, ending with 2 of them doing a massive hit at the end. This reminding me of BB tag, where you have both characters ending a big overhead sequence into massive damage. There's also this big effect called crossover that happened when Iron Man switched to Spider-Man that leads to a big hit on block. Unsure if this is their combo breaker or burst mechanic, but it seems to be a way to deal with offense while you are holding back on block. It also seems that each character might have its own cooldown, as throughout the trailer you see characters calling an assist into another in the same combo, not being tied to just one timer altogether. This might lead to very crazy situations depending on the characters and assists you use in a game. As far as general mechanics, this seems to be very similar to other Arc Sys titles like Dragon Ball FighterZ and Guilty Gear, where you see a 2H as an anti-air, there's air dashes, air grabs, and air techs. Now, the elephant in the room is these moments where there seems to be a wall break that changes the stage, which might be the same mechanic from Guilty Gear Strive. Now, this is the one mechanic that many people feel very negatively about, but we never see the wall break happen, so it could be some sort of knockout stage transition similar to Dragon Ball FighterZ. There's also these moments where the characters are wall splat, but again, the break never happens. Overall, there is a lot here that looks familiar to fighting game players, and combined with whatever unique mechanics Fighting Souls delivers, this could end up as one of the most unique fighting game experiences we've seen in a while. And that is all we know about Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Stick around to the channel as I will be posting a new video whenever we get news, as well as my own theory vids involving the game. Marvel is back, and even if it's not the same flavor we're used to, the future looks bright for Arc Sys and Marvel, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I appreciate your time. Have a good day.